All right, Californians, this one's directed towards you guys because you guys are having a good time over there. I see the internet up in arms because of this new California exhaust ban. Well, you sort of got it right. Most of you have it wrong. It's not really an exhaust ban. It's the different way of enforcing an existing ban. So California has a decibel limit of 95 decibels. It's not, you can't have an aftermarket exhaust. You can't, like, none of that. You're allowed to have an aftermarket exhaust. However, if you do have an aftermarket exhaust and it exceeds 95 decibels, then you are subject to a fine. It used to be you could get a fix-it ticket, and the fix-it ticket would be, here's a ticket for having an exhaust that's too loud. You would then go, bring it to the shop, swap your stock exhaust on, go bring it to a carb center or whatever they call their smog testers. They check it out, be like, sounds perfectly fine to me. You've now corrected the violation. You go over to the court, they dismiss the ticket because you've now fixed the problem, then you put your loud exhaust back on. So that was a game, and that continued on for a long time. Now the law states that it's the officer's discretion, which is the big problem you're running into here, because if you're a D-bag, you're getting a ticket. If he doesn't like you, you're getting a ticket. If he's in a bad mood, you're getting a ticket. If he asks you out on a date and you say no, you're getting a ticket. So you have all these situations where now the cop is writing you a ticket, and the ticket has teeth. The ticket is subjective because you can't go swap exhausts, and the officer heard it. He heard what he heard. He said it was too loud, and here's your ticket. Now, the tickets are up to a little over $1,000. So this is a way to really, like, stick it to people. And the reason, or one of the reasons this came about, was it was the couple of you, not all of you, but the couple of you that are just complete asshats. The sideshow crew out there, like we're just going to be a public nuisance. And what do they all have in common? It's like Fast and the Furious all over again, little like tearing up the streets at night, making lots of noise, cutting the exhaust off, rocking your whistle tips, whatever you do, woo woo. But all of that happens, and California cracks down. And that's what California does. They penalize people for the actions of some. And you choose to live there, that's your problem. So how do you get around it? Like, you say, like, all right, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Why? Well, you know what? Before we get around it, how loud is 95 decibels? Well, that's subjective. You know what? And it's a definitive number. Like, it's a definitive, like, okay, I hear 95 decibels, but it depends how far you're standing. Depends. Sound, as you travel further away, gets less and less and less. And it depends on the angle. Some sound shoots straight. Some sound like disperses more. It really depends on where you are in relation to the exhaust. It's just, the plain answer is, if a cop thinks your car is too loud, he's going to give you a ticket, and then it's your job to go deal with it. And now you have a big headache on your hand and potentially a big fine where it's just not worth it anymore. You're just going to put a quieter exhaust on if you keep getting a harassment ticket. You can try to just idle by and say, like, oh, I'm just idling by. But that doesn't really work all the time, because a cop, you two-stepping in a parking lot, guess what? Boom, there's your ticket. It's $1,000. Who's going to two-step in a parking lot if a cop's going to roll up, blaring his lights, and then give you a ticket for $1,000? It's not worth it at that point in time. So you've identified now, instead of having a BS violation, you've got a legitimate fine on your hands. It's actually a deterrent. It's actually doing, it's solving the problem that people identified, that we don't like cars that are too loud. Well, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to bitch, and you're going to be like, I don't know, I want to, like, it affects you now. Welcome to the rest of the world. That's why when people get their gun rights infringed, like, why do I have to have one round in my magazine in California and it's got to be locked up in a triple combo safe? Well, it's because it's California. Why are your taxes super high? Why do you have 91 octane? It's because it's California. You're in a very liberal state, and you're going to have to deal with that. So how do you get around it? Well, you can do the very obvious answer. If I was there, and I wouldn't live there because it's California, and the weather's beautiful. There's a lot of good reasons to live in California, but there's a lot of, like, bullshit, and taxes are one of them, because taxes are ridiculous in California. I would register my car out of state. You know, sounds like a good idea. Like, just register your car out of state. You can't give somebody a ticket for driving through and being too loud. However, they're going to be hip to that real quick. The only other option you have is move out to any of the other states. Just look that way. Well, don't look at Oregon. Oregon's not that great either. But, like, look east. Like virtually anything between, let's just say, California and Virginia, perfectly fine. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can have a loud car, you can go fast, you can pay less taxes, you can, except for Colorado, you can smoke weed in Colorado. But like all of this stuff, all these liberties and freedoms that you want that you're complaining about that they're now taken away are hitting close to home, and it's really annoying people. And there's nothing you can really do about it other than move out of California. A lot of people are going to say, like, well, a Lamborghini, it's got a loud exhaust from the factory, and it's like 95. Yeah, with the stock exhaust, you have a better chance of being like, it's stock. You put a bypass on, you put any basic exhaust modification on, and you're sort of in for a world of headache out there. Especially you modify your Lamborghini exhaust, problems. Now, who's this really going to affect? It's going to affect people that don't have a lot of money, people that want to supercharge their car, just turn up the exhaust on their Civic to make it sound cool. Those are the people that are going to be hit because those are the people that can't absorb the fines. Rich people, you think they're going to go swap their $20,000 exhaust off their Lamborghini? No. They'll pay the ticket, or they've got 15 PBA cards because they've donated so much money to the cops that they're not going to get an exhaust ticket because those aren't the guys that are going to be facing this. The people that are really going to take this on the chin are the car culture, the street racers, the sideshow people, whether you're caught a half mile down the road or not. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't part of that sideshow. You know what? Here's a $1,000 ticket just for being too loud. And that's officer's discretion, and you can't really do anything. And it's going to cost you $1,000 to go fight it and maybe get off of it. Like, who knows? Like, the lawyers are probably going to love this. But when it's a subjective enforcement, which it generally is, you're going to be screwed. So what does Rob recommend? Rob recommends moving the hell out of California. Simple as that. Like, here's there's going to be jobs along the southern border, building things, like a wall. So if you're looking for work, you can go down there and do that. Other than that, thank you for watching. The law, again, hasn't changed. There's a lot of misinformation about the law changing. It went into effect. The enforcement of it has changed, and the law has more teeth now. So instead of a fix-it ticket, it's now an actual violation. And that started on January 1st, 2019. The ordinance, or whatever, the change in the law was actually passed back in like June of last year. And yo, man, enjoy your California. Enjoy your surfing, bro. Just do it with a quiet car, all right? For those of you not familiar with my other company, I started a company called Adventure Drives, which combines driving and bucket list travel. So it's a lot of fun. Our next trip is up to the Northern Lights in Iceland at the end of February. We're going to be doing snowmobiling on glaciers, off-roading, taking a dip in the Blue Lagoon, and drinking whiskey until we're silly. So that's going to be a lot of fun. After that, we're off to Europe for a trip in July. If you're interested, prices can be done per person. It starts at about $3,000 per person for Iceland. Don't worry, if you don't have somebody to go with you, we can match you up with somebody. You can check the link in the description for adventuredrives.com and sign up today.